What's going on, everyone? Papa Joker back at it again here with some PC gaming and tech news. First up, we're going to be talking about the officially confirmed Splinter Cell game that was revealed yesterday. Also, RTX 3050 rumored to be coming in 2 different variants, and NVIDIA is teaming up with the Matrix for some custom themed builds that you can actually win. So stay tuned right there, and let's get fired right into the news. But first, today's video is brought to you by supercdk.com, where you can save money on games for all of your favorite platforms, as well as software like Windows 10 Pro for just $19.50, and then you can unlock the prestigious dark mode on Windows 10 and take advantage of that. I couldn't live without it. And if you shoot over there right now, you could save 25% off. Hit the buy now button and then put in my code JP25 at checkout. I'll walk you guys through the process right now so you can see how much money we're saving and how to go ahead and install this on your Windows 10 PC. That brings our price down to $14.62, total savings of almost $5 using that JP25 code, which will work for any software products over there. Once you're done with that, go ahead and click on Submit Order and select your payment mode of choice, which me personally is PayPal, and then I'll go ahead and complete the checkout by clicking on Pay Now. After completing the checkout, it'll bring you to your purchased order page, and it will update in a matter of seconds, or just go ahead and hit F5. Go ahead and do that one time. It came through literally immediately. I got the payment email that it had gone through and the delivery of the product exactly at the same time. Once you're done with that, go ahead and click on View Keys and Codes, and we'll get our code right here that we can go ahead and copy and paste in on Windows 10 by hitting the Start button and type in the word Activate. When you see that activation settings or see if Windows is activated, go ahead and click on that, and it'll bring up this right here, and click on change your product key or unlock Windows 10. As I already have Windows 10, I obviously don't need to put in a new key, but just paste it in and then go ahead and click next, and you are all done and set. For more information on supercdk.com as well as the coupon code, be sure to check out the links down in the description below. First up, Ubisoft has officially confirmed a Splinter Cell remake. And they say remake, but there's also been rumors lately that there was going to be a semi-open world version of Splinter Cell coming, but a remake wouldn't really necessarily be that because the original Splinter Cell was not an open world game. Although, honestly, the semi-open world thing that's been rumored, I honestly don't think it would be the worst thing, and I wouldn't expect it to be like Far Cry or Assassin's Creed climbing towers and all that kind of stuff, but more so sort of like small semi-open instances, maybe kind of like we see in like the Hitman games or in Crysis, where you're presented with a fairly large area and maybe different objectives and targets to take out and objectives to do, and then you can sort of choose your own approach to sort of attack them. So I don't necessarily think that would be the worst thing, but if they did a huge open world and it was like Far Cry or Assassin's Creed, I think that would probably bother a lot of hardcore fans of the series, myself included. I've always loved Splinter Cell games, Chaos Theory, I even Pandora Tomorrow. I even really liked the more recent one, Splinter Cell Conviction. I thought was a lot of fun, even though it didn't really stick to like the traditional formula of the game, and some hardcore fans didn't really care for it. I really love Splinter Cell Conviction. It's definitely my top 2 Splinter Cells of all time. And Blacklist, probably not my favorite, or even in the top 2, but still very good, very visually appealing. And that came out back in 2013. It's been that long, 8 years now, since we've gotten a new Splinter Cell title. So, unfortunately, we didn't get any gameplay, but as you can see over on DSOG, this remake was officially announced. It could be more of like a reboot, honestly. They just didn't give us a whole lot of information on the game, other than the fact that it is in its early development stages, and it's been greenlit by Ubisoft. So for any fans of the series, that's just exciting to know that there is a new Splinter Cell game on the horizon, myself included in that. And the only other real tidbit of information we got from the 8+ minute developer blog is that it is going to be running on the Snowdrop engine, which is not the worst thing in the world, honestly. It's most famous probably for running the Division games, runs on Snowdrop, which I think is one of their better engines compared to, I can't remember, the name is escaping me, the one they use for the Assassin's Creed engines. Was it Anvil? Yeah, Anvil Next. I definitely think the Snowdrop engine runs a little bit better on PC compared to that engine used in those games. But yeah, just excited to hear that a Splinter Cell game is in development. I'll link down to the story below, which will have the full 8+ minute developer blog. As I said, there's no gameplay or anything of the new Splinter Cell. It's mostly the developers talking about the origins of Splinter Cell and where they're kind of hoping to sort of take the franchise with this new game, and hopefully a lot of stealth fans get back into it because I want to see more Splinter Cell games. I love me a good stealth game. And also, what about Siphon Filter? I want to see a new Siphon Filter game. I don't even know who made Siphon Filter, but I want a new one. It's been far too long, and Siphon Filter, I always sort of put in the same regard as Splinter Cell, even though they weren't as stealthy. They sort of both came out around the same time period, and I remember playing both of those games a ton. Like, I would go from like one game to the next from Splinter Cell and Siphon Filter. Those games were really great. Even like the local multiplayer on Siphon Filter was awesome. Me and my friends used to get on that all the time, just two people on a map locally, just sitting next to each other and killing each other with grenade launchers and shit. And Siphon Filter 2 was just amazing times. Really got a lot of good memories with that. Next up, we have a rumor / leak concerning an NVIDIA RTX 3050, which has been rumored for quite some time, honestly. Probably since about January, early this year was the earliest I remember hearing about it. Supposed to be on the GA107 GPU. But now, according to Cobite7Kimmy, who is a famed leaker, posted over on Twitter that there's going to be two different variants of the RTX 3050 here, and it's going to be using GA106. So this is really going to be, in every sense of the words, a cut-down version of the RTX 3060, which isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world. So I'll definitely be curious to see when these things are coming out. We've also seen rumors and leaks lately that we're going to be getting some announcements in January for the 3090 Ti. There's also rumors of a 12 gigabyte RTX 3080, and there was also rumors of a 3070 Ti, which was now apparently being pushed back. But I believe the 3090 Ti, the earliest, they're saying it's going to be announced, I think, January 4th, and then launching later in the month. So probably around the time CES, we'll be seeing some more information on that. But as far as the RTX 3050 is concerned, we do have some tentative specs here, as I said, on the cut-down GA106, and the two different variants will be both using GDDR6 memory, like the RTX 3060, and one will feature 8 gigabytes of VRAM, and the other one will have 4 gigabytes of VRAM. And otherwise, pretty close, probably only going to be a couple percentage points difference in terms of just core performance between the two different variants. The biggest difference there is the memory amounts being double on the probably more pricey RTX 3050, but they're saying 2560 CUDA cores, and for reference, as you can see there, the 3060 has 3584, so it's really just a cut-down version of that GA106 GPU, and then the 4 gigabyte model will be 2304, so not a whole huge difference there. RT cores, it's going to have 2 fewer, although I can't imagine many people are going to be using ray tracing on these GPUs, and then 8 fewer tensor cores as well, although DLSS will probably be a factor for these cards on some more demanding titles. It's nice to be able to get DLSS on there. Even if you're not using ray tracing, being able to use the DLSS will make these otherwise, significantly weaker and more affordable GPUs maybe be able to power some more demanding titles at even a higher resolution, maybe even 1440p on certain games. And then memory bus is going to be 128-bit. Memory clocks and everything else is to be determined, and they're saying we should expect to hear about it in January 2022. Maybe. Take it all with a grain of salt. It's a rumor. It's a leak. It's from a fairly reputable leaker who we've talked about many times in the past. But, as with always, take it with a grain of salt. Next up, speaking more about NVIDIA, they have actually teamed up to do a giveaway of 3 different PCs that are going to be Matrix-themed for the upcoming Matrix Resurrections movie, which is coming out, I believe, on the 22nd or the 23rd of December. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be on HBO Max, so don't even have to leave the house. I'll be watching it right from my home in 4K HDR. Beautiful thing. So they did some pretty sweet builds, at least one of them in particular I really like, and that is the one from Digital Storm. This one right here looks absolutely amazing. Got like the computer screens on it and the keyboard and stuff, and like even like a little numpad thing on the back. I don't know if the keyboards and stuff like that are actually functional and work with the system. I mean, you wouldn't want to play it right there and use the keyboard with it, but it definitely just kind of adds into the whole theme, and I thought really fit the Matrix theme the best. It's got like the tubes coming out of it, like when Neo goes into like the pods and stuff after he takes the pill. So very cool build. They got little screens with the Matrix code like sort of flowing up and down vertically on the screens. I hope that those all actually run. That would be very cool if those actually, they're actual working screens and the code flows on them. That'd be pretty awesome. They've also got 2 other builds. The other one is partnered with NZXT, and it's supposed to be based off of the Nebuchadnezzar But honestly, I don't think they really did that great of a job with this one. It's kind of got the tube sticking out of it, just like the other one. But other than that, they didn't really do a whole lot with it. I mean, there's a different front panel here, and it says Matrix Resurrections down at the bottom there. But other than that, they didn't really do too much with it. And then this one is pretty extreme here. This one was from a professional modder by the name of Stasic Tips Vutelek. I don't know if I said that correctly. I apologize for butchering it if I did not. But this one seems to be like the most detailed. It's even got a laptop up here. Again, don't know if that's functional, and it's got one of those like alien crafts and stuff, and all these sorts of like panels and knobs, like old school computer looking things, and like a floppy disk drive right there. So that one's pretty cool too. But honestly, for me, the very first one from Digital Storm with the keyboard and the screens and everything, that's even got the Nebuchadnezzar little placard up there in the top right corner. So that one's my favorite. And also, NVIDIA is going to be doing some limited edition backplates to be teamed up or themed to the Matrix Resurrection film as well. We got the White Rabbit there. We got the flowing code, and I'm not sure. I think this is supposed to be a cat, probably the cat from the first movie. I remember that in one scene, there's a cat like roaming around somewhere. And NVIDIA said they will be running a giveaway starting on December 22nd, or giving them from now until December 22nd. So I guess that is the release date of the movie. And full instructions are going to be on the sources linked below, but basically you have to follow their social channels on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, like, comment, and share their posts across social, and use the hashtag Matrix Resurrections when prompted. So a little bit of an annoying giveaway, honestly. They want you to basically go out there and be a hype whore and share out stuff about the Matrix Resurrections. But honestly, I probably wouldn't even bother. It's just kind of cool to see that these things exist. But at the end of the day, like really, who's going to win these fucking things? Like 3 random-ass people that are just cucking for NVIDIA's and Matrix social media stuff. I honestly wouldn't even bother. But hey, if you want to go take your shot at winning one of these systems, then have at it. Links are going to be in the description below, as I said. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, though. I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. Let me know if you're looking forward to Matrix Resurrections coming out in 22nd. And the irony of the fact that they did a Matrix-themed PC build, and that new Matrix Awakening demo, you can't even run it on PC. How about that? Only on next-gen consoles, even though the PC could obviously run it a million times better. But there we are. So yeah, Splinter Cell remake or reboot, however you want to call it, we'll have to wait and see. At least it's not a remaster. A remake is fine. Like Mafia 1 remake was great, and it sounds like if this is going to be a full-on remake and they're not just rebooting it, that it sounds like it is a proper remake and a new engine, and it's probably going to be pretty well upgraded compared to the original. But as I said, I'm going to get out of here. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video.